Yep. Good morning, everyone. So, yesterday we learnt about what are the features and issues with React.js. So, yesterday we learned some topics like features of React and issues with React. These 2 points we have learnt. And what are the features of React? You remembered we learnt about virtual DOM. Another approach is what? Modular approach, loosely coupled and extensible extensible. And another important feature is it is very important, that is component based. And when we discussed virtual DOM, we discussed what is DOM and what is shadow DOM. And we also discussed about what is virtual DOM. These three basic things we learned. So in order to work with React, first you should have awareness on the basic of DOM, shadow DOM, virtual DOM and all. Yesterday we discussed about all these concepts. And the issues of React also we learned. Lot of gaps, lot of third-party plugins are required to handle different kind of situations. So once you are aware of what is React and what you can do with React, now we will see practically how to implement this, how we practically start working with React. And the latest version of React is 19, but companies are still using 17, 18 also they are not using. So, but we will see all differences. We will see how they use in older version and how they deal with the new version. So the current version stable of React is 19, and we will see how to use these versions and implement them. Okay. So today we are going to learn practically how to use React and how to set up environment for React. So we are going to learn setup environment for React. So how do we set environment for React? How do we work with React? Let's see practically step by step. Setup environment for React means what are the concepts you need to install? How do you set up everything for designing and using? Two concepts are there. You can use React in an existing web application. That means already you have some web application, some Java, .NET, PHP, user and UI, any web application. In one page also, you can use React. So you can use React in just one page also. Or you can build a separate React application. Two techniques are there. We are going to learn both. How to use React in existing projects and how do we use React in a separate application. As a separate application we can do. So for that first you need to set up environment. In your computer you need to make sure that some concepts are ready, right? Let's see what those are. First, initially to set up environment, first important point. So your PC must have OS, so Windows 8X or higher, Mac, you can use Mac or Linux or any other operating systems you can use. But make sure that your PC is having Windows 8 and higher version if you are using Windows. Windows 7 is not enough for the modern technologies anymore. If you are using any old PCs in your computers, you are having still Windows 7, it is outdated for our new technologies. It will not work anymore. Make sure that in your PC, you have Windows 8 and higher version. So Windows 8 higher, any Mac version, any Linux version, any Linux vendor is okay, no problem. Mac any versions, Linux any versions, any vendor okay. So first you should have the Windows PC or Mac or anything. If it is Windows, make sure it is 8x and higher. After that, you have to download and install Node.js on your PC. This is the first thing you have to do. You have to download and install Node.js on your PC. This is mandatory to do because why you have to install Node.js? Node.js is used for building web applications. It is used for building scripts. It is also used for building CLI tools. CLI tools means command line tools. Command line tools means you see command prompts and all. Node.js is officially required for building web applications. It is also used for building servers. You can build servers. You know, web application needs servers. And you need scripts, you need server side interactions. All Node.js can manage. So make sure that in your computer, you have installed Node.js on your PC, right? So Node.js actually, this is the official Node.js website, nodejs.org. So this is the official Node.js. I will copy the URL here. This is official Node.js website. So you have to download and install this Node.js on your PC. Node.js on your computer, you have to set up this. So you can see here, Node.js is one tool, and Node.js, as I explained already, Node.js is used for building web applications. You see, it is an open source, cross-platform JavaScript runtime that allows developers to create servers, web applications, command line tools, and all. Currently, we are using this Node.js for building web applications. We are building web application. For web application, Node.js is required. Initially, we are using Node.js for that. And not only that, when you install Node.js, actually in some developers' computer already Node.js may be there. So if already Node.js is there, make sure that the Node.js version is 18 and above. Current version is 22. It is showing in their official website. Some people who already have Node.js from several years, they may be now learning React or other technologies. They need to make sure that they update their Node.js, because now the new React and new frameworks require a higher version of Node.js. It must be 18 and higher version. So current latest version of Node.js is what? 22. So just you don't worry about your operating system. Speciality of this website is when you open the website on your PC, it can automatically recognize your OS and it will give downloads according to your OS. That means it will recognize your OS and according to your OS, it will give the download. That means if you are using Apple PCs or you are using Linux, it will automatically download suitable thing for you. So you click on this download, and when you download this, so you will get a setup here. You just run this setup. I am downloading the current latest whatever is available. So I am downloading this, and let's run this setup. It will ask few steps for installing Node.js. We will just follow those steps. It is calculating the space required. Click the next button, accept the terms, next. No need to change any path. By default, its files will be copied into program files. And no need to select anything here. Default, it is selected. All are required. Only one point here. Don't select this checkbox. It is asking that install some additional plugins. They are not required for you. So you can ignore this. It is already not selected. Don't select that. Just click on next and it is completed. So it is going to install the latest version of Node.js on your PC. So you have to install this for handling and working with web applications. So why we are installing Node.js? So what is the concept of Node.js? Why we are downloading Node.js? Node.js is required to build servers, web applications, scripts, and command line tools. Not only that, Node.js provides a package manager called NPM. I hope you people know this. In every software developer's computer, there must be a package manager. What are package managers? Package managers are softwares that are used by developers to install any library, update any library, or uninstall any library required for project. Suppose you are developing a project. In your project, you need one library. Usually what we have to do, visit the website of library, download the files, copy them and paste in the project and enable them to use. But what is the advantage of package manager is, if you have a package manager, you can just run some commands and you can install which library you want for your project. So for web developers, it is a very common thing. Everybody knows that every web developer needs a package manager. There are so many package managers. You have so many package managers like Yarn, like Bower, like Grunt, like Composer, like Ruby Gems. These are all different types of package managers, like NuGet. These are all different package managers. Other package managers, you have to separately download and install them. So, but if you have Windows, if you have installed Node.js on your computer, by default, you will get a package manager called NPM. So you will have a package manager called NPM. NPM is the package manager. So other package managers also you can use. For example, I will show you. Suppose here installation completed, finish. Okay. I will show you here. Suppose we are using some Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a library for building good user interface. Suppose I want to use this Bootstrap in my project. If I want to use Bootstrap in my project, they give an option download. We will go to the download. When we go to download, they will give you a download. You can download and use it. But when you download, it will get a zip file. You have to uncompress. You have to copy the files, go to project, They create one folder, paste them, set the path. That's risky. You can see here they given package managers. They say that if you already have any package manager, through package manager, you can easily install any library. So every developer knows package managers. And popular package managers are these different types of package managers. And if you install Node.js on your computer, which package manager will be there? NPM. That is the package manager available. This is very much required because I told you already, React.js on its own cannot do everything. It requires lot of libraries. And to get all the libraries, you have to have a package manager. Not only installing libraries, updating, uninstalling, everything can be done by using this package manager. So once you install Node.js on your computer, you will get the package manager. So this step we completed. And one more important, as I told you. So we have to check the version of Node and NPM from command prompt. Command prompt. After installing Node.js, you have to check the version of Node.js and package manager. Because we already discussed that package manager, which version is required, Node.js, which version is required, 18 and above. 18 and above version is required. And package manager also 8 and above version is required. So we have to check whether the versions installed are new and advanced versions or not. You have to open command prompt and there you have to run the command node flag v and npm flag v. These two you need to do. Node flag v and npm flag v, these are used for checking the versions of Node.js and package manager. So we will open command prompt, and in this command prompt you have to run node flag v. This is the node version and it is 22, so that is good. And npm v, this is npm 10 version. So we are having the latest versions, that is good. If anyone have the old versions like 17 or anything, you just install the new version, it will override the old version. It will replace the old version. So check the versions first. And here, what is the note? Make sure that the node version is 18x and higher, and npm version is 8x and higher. So this is minimum requirement. That is the minimum requirement. So first, in your computers, you need to install this software, Node.js. And you will get Node.js and you will get a package manager. And you set up that and check the version. Next important, after installing Node.js, you need to download and install Visual Studio Code Editor. I hope everybody have this, right? Because already you are learning web designing or different technologies. So if you are building web applications, practicing HTML, CSS, this is the editor. Actually, there are so many editors. You can download and install different types of editors. But this is the best editor, which is free, which is open source and provides all required plugins for our technologies. So better we will go with Visual Studio Code Editor. What is purpose of editor? Editor provides an IDE, integrated development environment, from where developers can build, debug, test, and deploy applications. We can design using a simple notepad also. You can write a program in a notepad, but writing, compiling, debugging, testing, better to have a good environment. Everything you can do from one environment. There are so many editors. So many editors are there. These are all different types of editors. You can see these are all different types of editors. This is official editors related website. You see, these are all editors. Different technologies use different editors. These are all different editor names. There are different editors. So many types of editors are there. And we are using this editor. We are using Visual Studio Code editor. So make sure that you have a good editor, because you can use any editor, but some editors don't have proper plugins required for our technologies. Then you will face some issues. So this is trusted by developers across the world. Everywhere we use this editor very much, and it belongs to Microsoft. Then it is good. It is free. It is open source. Anywhere it can use with additional plugins, you can set up them. So better you do this. This is Code Visual Studio. This is the official website. Don't get confused, because actually there is a editor called Visual Studio. Visual Studio is different. Visual Studio Code is different. Their logos also look similar but not same. So actually there is a editor called Visual Studio. We have an editor called Visual Studio. Visual Studio editor is there. This is editor. This is Visual Studio editor. You don't download this one. This editor is not required for you. Usually this editor is required for the people who are working with technologies like .NET and Microsoft Azure. So for you, it is not required. It is very heavy. So for you, Visual Studio Code is enough. It is lightweight, simple, and it is suitable for your technologies. So don't get confused. It is not Visual Studio. It is Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code. Okay. So this is the Visual Studio Code official website link, and this is the visual link. You all people have joined the WhatsApp community, na? Right. So in that we will upload these notes, yesterday's and today's notes, everything we will upload. We will share a drive link. You can get the notes from there. Okay. So there are so many editors. We are going to use this editor. I hope already you people have this editor. So what is this Visual Studio Code? VS Code provides an IDE, integrated development environment for building, debugging, so testing and deploying applications. So you can use this editor. So you can download and install this editor on your PC. So in my computer, already it is installed. You can see this is Visual Studio Code editor. And actually this editor looks like this. This is Visual Studio Code editor. And once it is installed, you can open from your programs. And after that, one more thing you have to do. What you have to do is, after downloading and installing editor, now you have to add extensions to Visual Studio Code editor. Some important extensions are required. You add these extensions to the Visual Studio Code editor, because Visual Studio Code editor is installed, but it is not ready for your technology. Java, .NET, PHP, Python, any React, Angular, all these technology people, they can add their own extensions according to their technology. Visual Studio Code is suitable for all technologies, but it is not ready for all technologies. You have to add according to your technology extensions. So for React and for building web applications, few extensions are important. Those you need to add. What are the extensions you need to add is, one extension is live server extension. Another one is VS Code icons. And another is IntelliSense for CSS class names in HTML. These are initially required. Later, once you start working React, some more extensions I will tell you. Before you start React, initially these extensions are required. Live server is required to run our projects on server and test them. VS Code icons are required to easily recognize the files and their extensions, because all files will have same icon. If every file have a different icon, HTML file, HTML icon, CSS icon, that is good. So better to have different icons for different file types. So VS Code icons is good for that. IntelliSense for CSS class names in HTML is nothing but when you are writing HTML CSS code, it will prompt and help you, because remembering CSS classes and all components is very risky. And if you have IntelliSense while typing itself, it will help you. So better have this IntelliSense for CSS class. Because many people ask this question, I will tell you very clearly. What is React.js? So in the current generation, it is a very advanced high level user interface related library. And you will not get any call related to jobs if you don't have Angular or React like technologies in your resume, even you are a Java developer or a .NET or a PHP or a Python. No calls. You will not expect any calls from any company in the world without mentioning any profile with React or Angular. If you don't have React and Angular in your resume, you will never get any call from companies. You are a Java developer or a .NET developer, you get gold medal in Java, we don't care. That's useless, right? That means we don't want anything. If there is no React and Angular in the modern generation, there is no calls for Java, .NET, PHP, Python, anybody. These are mandatory. And very important is when you have to mention these profiles, you are telling that you are a Java and React developer and or .NET React developer or PHP React developer. Then they expect that you are genius in UI designing. They expect that you are master in UI designing. And some people come and ask like, sir, I know Java, I know .NET, I know React.js, but I don't know HTML, CSS properly. That's like joke. That's like joke. Why? Because what you are talking, you are a React developer and you say, I don't know proper CSS, bootstrap like things, then you are not suitable as a developer. Even your profile is Java.NET, you don't have good skills in UI designing. These days, we don't take you. Not required. You are not required because there are so many people who have those better skills than you. So that is the reason if you say that I know little bit CSS, little bit bootstrap, you are not a modern UI developer, web developer. You are not suitable for technologies like React, Java, .NET like in companies. That means Java, .NET, full stack and all these people, they need very good knowledge in the user interface. Companies expect high. And even in interviews also, they will give you complex designs. They will say that design this and show me. Functionality is not the point. Functionality anybody can achieve. After the functionality, designing in the same way is also important. You should have good skills in your CSS and bootstrap like concepts. Later, you will learn some more additional libraries here. We will discuss them. But these are very mandatory actually. You cannot be a developer for the modern generation without proper knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You must have good skills in that, right? and you set up these extensions. Okay, let's go. How to set up extensions in Visual Studio Code. After you open Visual Studio Code, you can see that in Visual Studio Code, this is extensions button. You have this extensions. You see, we have the extensions. You click on this extensions button. Once you click the extensions button, here you search for those extensions I given. What are the extensions? One extension is what? Live server. You select that extension. You see this is live server. And you add this extension to your Visual Studio Code. Another extension is what? VS Code. VS Code icons. You can install this VS Code icons also. Another extension. Another is what? IntelliSense. IntelliSense for CSS class names. This also you can install. This is these three extensions you have to install. Here you will get a install button. You just click install. It works. It works fine. So now once your Visual Studio Code is ready with all these extensions, now your environment is ready for React. Understood all these points? So what you have to install in your PC to start working with React? Initially you need Node.js. You need a package manager which you will get with Node.js, and you need VS Code, and you need some extensions. I hope everyone clear? Right. Now, once you are done with this, now let's see how to create a new web application. How do we create a new web application? How do we create one web application? So React have two concepts. We can use React in a web application. Remember, generally, if you are developing a Java, .NET or Node UI full stack applications, many people have doubt, like they ask like, can I use React and Angular both in one application? You can use, there is no problem. You can use Angular in one area, in one module. You can use React in another module. You can use. Actually, if you are not aware, we can use two different technologies in an application also. For example, if you visit the people like IRCTC or others, you will see that some modules of IRCTC are built with, they are actually built with PHP, and some are built with JSP, Java technologies. They are built with two different technologies. Two different technologies can be used in one application also. Right? Many people have a doubt like, can I use React and Angular in one project? You can use, there is no problem. You can use React in only one page also. That's what we are going to see now. First point, what we are going to learn is, there are two ways. You can create a separate React application, or you can use React in existing application. In your projects, usually they do that. If you already have a project and in that lot of user interface is there, you want to make the user interface attractive, effective, then you can use React inside. So let's see how to do that. So what we are going to learn in the first level is how to create a traditional web application and how to use React in this existing web application. Let's see how to do that. How do we create a new web application? So first, what we have to do is, already you know this process when you learned your HTML and JavaScript. I will show. First, we will create one project, some location on my computer in C drive, D drive, some. I am creating one application. I will create a new folder and I will give the folder name as web app. Just I created a folder as web app, web application. Okay. So what is the first step is create a new folder for your project. So I created a folder called web app in the D drive of my PC. You create anywhere you want, anywhere you create one folder for your application. Next, after that, open your project folder in Visual Studio Code. In Visual Studio Code, you have to open the folder. Let's open the folder in Visual Studio Code. So already Visual Studio Code is open. Now open folder, you can go to file, open folder, and where is the folder we created? D drive. And what is it? Web app. This is web application. This is the empty folder. That means now you created a folder for your project and still it is not ready. We have to make it ready like a web application. Let's see what needs to be set up in the web application. So once you open, in this first step, what we have to do is we have to set up the file system for web application. You have to set up file system for web application. How to set up the file system for web application is you have to do all the following things what I show you. First step, after open the project, currently your project is empty. Your project is empty, there is nothing inside. Go to terminal. Terminal, you can see there is a terminal menu and open terminal. Terminal is nothing but it opens a command prompt like this. This is the command prompt. What you do is generally the command prompt sometimes looks like this. That means it will show a PowerShell, PS. Don't use this PowerShell. You change this to ordinary command prompt. How to change to ordinary command prompt? Right side, you will see there is a down arrow. When you click on it, you can see command prompt is there. You can select the command prompt. Now you will get the command prompt like this. In the command prompt, you have to run the command npm. Npm is what? Node Package Manager. npm init and flag y. This everybody knows who learned web designing. Why? Because this is going to generate a file called, it is going to generate a file called package.json. And professionally, every web application will have a file called package.json. And that package.json contains metadata. Metadata means information about your application. That means what is your application name, what version it is, what dependencies your application is using, all the commands for application, everything is set up inside this file. Every professional web application must have a file called package.json. Whether it is Angular or React or Vue or Java or .NET or PHP, Python, in final projects, you will see every application will have a package.json. Yes, so package.json comprises of metadata. So this file is generated by using this command. Actually, npm init is initializing a project. Y flag indicates that don't ask me any questions, just you create everything by yourself. That means yes for every question. Because if you don't use this flag Y, it will ask you questions like what is your project name, what is its version, what commands you want to use. They are all not initially required for you. So what you do, just ignore that by using the flag Y. So when you run this command, automatically you will see that in your project, there is a package.json created. Every professional web application must have this package.json. And to create the package.json, you have to run this command npm init y. So what is the first thing you have to do? First thing is generate package.json. How do we do that? For that, what you have to do, open terminal. and run the command. What is the command? You have to run the command npm init and flag y. So what is this package JSON? A simple point I will tell you. Package JSON comprises of project metadata. Project related lot of configuration also you do in this package JSON. Initially, you don't need this to use directly. Later, you will see how to handle it, right? So first point, make sure that in your computer, so you have created a folder, open that folder in your VS Code and generate this file, package JSON. Every project must have a package JSON. Whether it is Angular or React or Vue, every project will have this package JSON. Initially, you can see that the package JSON is created. Package JSON, you can see initially, package JSON contains some data. Later, it will be automatically updated. Some new details will be added. You can modify that also. So later you will see how to handle this file. So as of now, you see it is having your project name, version, and all other configurations. These are not initially required for you, but this file is required. If you don't have this file, lot of issues will come. So every project must have a package JSON. That is mandatory. Okay. After that, now you need to add some more files here. Next important, add readme.md into project. Every project will have a readme. Every professional application must have a readme. Readme is a file. Remember, later you will learn, of course, when you learn JavaScript and all, you might have learned. When you created a project for HTML, CSS, you know that every project have 3 environments. You know, na? What are those? Every project have 3 environments. Any project in the world. So whether it may be Java or .NET or any project in the world, every project have 3 environments. One is development environment, quality environment, another one production environment. 3 environments will be there. Every project design will happen in 3 environments. One is development, another quality, another one production. Development is the location where we build the application. Application is built in which environment? Development. After building the application, we need to test the application. Testing is done in which environment? Quality. After testing, we need to publish this. That means we need to go it live. We need to publish on live. That is called as what? Production. So currently we are setting up the development environment. Currently we are setting up development environment. Whenever you create a project, the default environment is which environment? Development environment. The default is development environment. Quality, production, all these later will come. Production means it goes live. So currently in development environment, what are the file systems required? We are going to see that. So initially in development environment, every project will have a README. README is nothing but it is a document designed by developers for developers. That means you are a developer, you are working on a project. You will not the only the person working on the project. There is a team working. And you designed something and other developers need to know what you have done. That means you need to guide other developers to understand what you have done. That everything detailedly we write inside this README. So every professional web application in development environment will have a README. README is designed by developers for developers to tell the developers that we are using these commands, we are using these libraries. Please go to this path for this library, use this command to run this project, use this command to build this project. All such help documentation is designed in README. So what you have to do, go to your project, And here you can see two options are there. You have add new file and add new folder. We will add a new file and the file name is what? readme.md. This is readme.md. Actually, this is initially empty. Here our developers will help put the help documentation. Technically, I'm saying here hash. So run application. So here I am writing use the following commands to run app. Suppose we are giving debug application and I am writing some use commands, use the following command for debugging. So, and here I given as testing. So use the following framework for testing like this, following framework for testing. Like this, our developers will help the other developers to understand this project. And all the help documentation is provided in which file? README. For example, you are learning Java, .NET, PHP, Python, some technologies, UI, something. You want to practice some projects. You want to practice some projects, you will have online so many free projects provided by several people. Do you know popular website for projects? Any idea? Don't know? So we have a website called Code Project. Code Project. Code Project is very popular. This code project is very popular among developers. That means there is no software engineer in the world who don't know about this code project. And if anybody don't know, he is not a software engineer, right? So if anybody don't know, he is not a software engineer. He is an illiterate software engineer, right? So technically every software engineer in the world is a member of this code project. Everybody knows this very well. Every software engineer in the world, he knows this very well. And do you know, for example, suppose you are learning some technologies like Java, like .NET or Python or some PHP or Node.js, UI full stack, some technologies. Do you know the people who built Java? That means the team members who are involved in building Java library, .NET library, they are the members of this code project. Understood? That means they are the members of this project. That means a person who is involved in designing Java, he is the member of this code project. That is the reason professionally everybody knows this. Because if I get any issues related to any topic, usually I visit this website and I post my issue and I get an answer from very high level professionals. People who are responsible for designing it, they may reply you. So, and here you will find so many free projects related to Java, .NET, anything. You see, different types of projects are available. You can just select a project category. Hundreds of projects are provided by them. Different category projects are available. Hundreds of projects are available. You can search by categories here. Even artificial intelligence also. Now the point is, you visit a website, download a project designed by somebody, and you want to practice that project. And when you download the project and run, it will fail. Why? Because you downloaded a project designed by somebody. In that project, what you have used, the same environment you have to set in your computer also. Am I right? The same version libraries, the same version softwares you have to use. Otherwise, it will fail. How do you know what libraries he is using? How do you know which version he is using? So every time after downloading the project from somebody, we will open this README file. We will look for this README file. We open the README file and we check the README file. In that, they will provide us all the details. With two files we examine to understand a project. One is README, another one is package.json. Package.json clearly tells us which library, which version they are using. Not only that, we can install those libraries from package.json also. So later you will understand the complete environment of package.json and all. So every professional web application so needs two important files. One is package.json, another one is readme. Another file is also required, .git ignore. This is also very commonly seen in your projects. React projects, Angular projects, Vue projects, any web applications, you will see this git ignore. Git ignore is nothing but it is required to configure the files that are not required while publishing on GitHub. You know GitHub? So later in this class also I will show you how to publish on Git. We will see that. When we learn about Git, so that means Git is the repository online where you can push your project. A team can contribute to it. On a team-based environment, you can build apps. And while you are publishing on Git, whatever you want to ignore for Git, all such things you mention here. So this is later required when you are pushing to Git. These days, all projects are pushed to Git and we use from Git. So it is a good versioning tool and we will use this later when you are publishing on Git. But every project requires this file also. So we are just adding the file. You don't need to put any content inside them. Later you will learn how to put. Initially, according to the project requirements, every project needs these three files. One is git ignore, another package.json, another readme. So we are adding readme. So what is this readme? So it is a help document designed by developers for developers. And another option, you need to add git ignore, git ignore. So it is required for publishing on Git and ignoring specific set of resources. So all this is important. So you need these. Next important, you need two more folders. Add folders. You need two folders. One is public, another one is SRC. You know that every professional web application have two folders. What are those? Public and SRC. You learned in general web designing. When you learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript, where you kept all your HTML files. All HTML files need to be kept in public folder. Where you kept all your images, they need to keep in public folder. Where you keep all your CSS and JavaScript files, they need to keep in SRC. If you don't know that, you have to know. Public is for static resources, SRC is for dynamic. Later when you are learning Angular, React and all these technologies, if you misplace your file, it will not work. If you misplace the file, it will not work. You cannot add wherever you want, just like how you learned in your HTML. That means you add some file somewhere, you open from somewhere, that nonsense will not work anymore here. You have to follow certain standards. That means all your static files must be in which folder? Public. All your dynamic files must be in which folder? SRC. If you miss, they don't work. If you misplace them, they don't work. So you have to be sure about these two things. Very important. So public is a folder. What it contains? Here it comprises of static resources. Static resources like HTML, images, documents, all these you keep here. SRC, it comprises of dynamic resources. Dynamic resources means CSS, JavaScript, JSX, TypeScript, SCSS, all these are kept in these folders. You have to make sure that you have two folders in your project. One is public, another one SRC. So what you have to do now is, let's go to the project. Remember, you now added only the files You need to add a folder now. The second button is add folder button. That means click on add folder. You need two folders. One folder is what? Public. And don't select the public, because when you select public and add a folder, it will add inside public. So you click outside and add another folder called src. This is the source. Now what we have to do is we need to add HTML page in public folder. You know already every web application starts with one HTML page. What is that? Index.html. We will add that page here. And this is the index page. I am designing a simple index page here. And this is the index page. So index page we are designing. And what is the main concept is, in this index page, I am not using React. I want to use React in another page. Is it possible to use like that? Yes. You can use in one page React, in another page Angular, your wish, you can do. React is not only for single page applications, React is used for multi-page applications also. Because you learnt in the previous class, I told you that React is very good for building what kind of applications? Single page applications. That means only one page will be there. Everything will come onto that page. You will not have login page, in about page, contact page like that. You will have only one page, that is index.html. So you usually have only one page here. 1 second. This is visible to everyone, right? Yeah, you can continue with that. Some issues with it. Yeah. Now here we need one more important thing. We added this page and we don't want React here. We want React in another page. That means let's add another page, some home.html. In home.html, yep. So in this home.html, we will design a simple header. We will keep as what? Home. Okay. In this page, we want to use React. In this page, we want to use React. So in index page, I will put a link. So anchor href will be to which page? Home.html home. So here I will give React is in home page. That's what the sentence I'm giving. So this is the basic design we created. So what we are going to do now, let's start the index page and see. We will right click and open with live server. You know how to start your HTML pages, na? Right. You see now, this is the HTML page. And we are saying that React is not in this page. We are saying that React is not in this page. React is in which page? React is in the home page. Now when user clicks on home page, I want React to work here. I want React to work in this area. That means in this page, React should work. Let's see how we can do that. That means we are adding two pages now. After doing this, next another point, add following pages into public folder. What are the pages you need to add? One is index.html. Another one is home.html. These are the two pages we need to add. Index and home.html, these are added. So that is the two pages we are adding here. That means we are adding these two pages and it is ready. Okay, now in this page, in this home page, we want React to use. We want React to work. How we can use React only in this page? And why you are using React in this page? Because I want the user interface very effective. I want a modern, advanced user interface in my home page. Then we can use which library? React library. So we want to use React in this page. How to use React in this page? There are so many techniques. So once you set up the project environment, I hope you are clear with this also, right? So how to set up environment and how to create the project. In the project, what are the files required? What are the folders required? Everything you done. Now we are going to see set up React for your web application. We have to set up React for your web application. How do you set up React for web application? There are two techniques. You people know that when you learned CSS, JavaScript and all, you can get libraries using CDN. You learned what is CDN? CDN is nothing but without downloading and installing any library, what you can do? Without downloading, installing any library, you can get the library directly from their website and use. From their servers, you can directly access the library and use. That is one thing. Another point is you can download, you can install the library and you can use it. Downloading and installing the library you can use, or you can use from the direct CDN links. Two process also I will show you. But from latest versions, directly using CDN links, they have removed it. They have given only one option now. They say that you install the library and use it. We are not giving CDN anymore. But remember, in companies, they are still using React 17. And now we have changed from 18 and 19 also. That means now companies may be using 18, some companies, but several companies are still using 17. And 19 is very recent, 2 weeks back only. It will take time for using React 19. Companies will not immediately use that 19. So we need to have awareness on 3 versions now. The 17 version, the 18 version and the 19. So first what we are going to do is we are going to learn. So set up library using CDN for legacy React. For legacy React is nothing but this is up to which version? 17. Up to 17x version. How to set up the CDN? I will show you. From 18 and 19 onwards, how it is done, that also I will show you. That means we will learn 2 versions. Why? Because if you learn the latest and go to companies, you can't work there. Why? Because that is not enough. Because they may be still using old. If they are using the new version, which is released 2 weeks back and stable, it's very good. But you will not get a chance of that immediately in all companies. They will be still using older version. Even you know, you are learning some Java.NET. Which version of Java you may be learning? You don't know versions also, right? But what is the latest version and what version company uses is completely different. They don't use the same versions because they are not suitable for implementation in every area every time. So that is the reason we will see both versions, how to handle old and new. So what you have to do is, first, you have to visit this website. Remember, to use React, what are the libraries required? So to set up React, here I will give you one important point. React in a page requires following libraries. So what are the libraries? One is React, another one is React DOM, and another one is Babel. These 3 libraries are required. To use React in any project, you need 3 libraries: React library, React DOM library, and Babel. Actually, React is React is the core library. This is the core library. And DOM is virtual DOM library. This is virtual DOM library. And Babel is, Babel is compiler. Na? JavaScript compilers. Huh? JavaScript, when you learn JavaScript with HTML, you don't use compilers. Because JavaScript you run in browser and browser uses an interpreter. Interpreter means it will translate line by line. But when JavaScript is used outside browser, you need compilers. JavaScript is used server side, JavaScript is used in various areas. There you need a compiler for JavaScript. And the popular compilers for JavaScript, you have a Node compiler, we have V8 compiler, we have Babel. Babel is a very popular compiler for JavaScript. When you write JavaScript, if you don't run JavaScript in your browser, do you know you can run JavaScript separately outside browser also? And to run JavaScript outside browser, you need JavaScript compilers. And Babel is very famous JavaScript compiler. It is used for compiling the JavaScript code. And for React, you need 3 libraries because React uses which language? JavaScript as a language. Later you will use TypeScript also. So you need these 3 libraries. What are those libraries? React, another one, React DOM, another one, Babel. So where you will get these libraries is React libraries you can get from React libraries you can get from this website. Legacy React website is there. This is Legacy React website is there. This is the official website of React, but it is an old version website. You can get libraries by using this legacy. That means you have to go to this website, legacy.reactjs.org. This is the old version of React.js. This is old version means version which companies are currently using. That is the version actually. So you go there. When you go to this legacy reactjs.org and this, you see they say that this site is no longer updated, go to React Dev. Why it is not updated? Because it is old version. New version is here. This is new version. New version also we will see how to do that. Initially in this go to docs. When you go to docs, you will see there is a category called CDN links. Am I right? Open that CDN links. You will see they will give you the CDN links. And in CDN, you will see 2 things. They are asking for, do you want development files or production files? Above one is development files, below are production files. I hope you people already know when you learn JavaScript CSS, JavaScript production files will be JavaScript production files will be minified files. You learned minification. Huh? In CSS, JavaScript, you haven't learned minification. Minification is nothing but compressing the JavaScript code. In real-time projects, we don't use .js file directly. In real-world projects, we don't use the unminified files for production. For production, we use minified. JavaScript, CSS files need to be minified. Minified means what? Compressed. Then you use for production. When you go for live, you will not use the original files. You will use the minified files. So you can see here, for development, they give the original files. For production, they give the minified files. So currently we need which files? Development na our environment is what files you need? Development files. Oh, copy these development files. Okay. And put them in your, I will copy those files also for you, but you have to put them in which page? I don't want React.js to work in index page. I want in home. Then in home page, in head section, you can keep them. I will give the title as home. I will give the title as home. Okay, that's done. Now this is ready. Now one more is required. You see 2 files are available. One is React, another one is React DOM. One more library is required. What is that library? Babel. Babel separate website is there. This is Babel official website. Babel is a very popular JavaScript compiler. Even Angular also uses the same compiler. All JavaScript technologies use a JavaScript compiler called Babel. So you go to this Babel. In this Babel, what you have to do is, I will copy this. Babel libraries. Babel library you can get from this website. This is babeljs.io. This is the website of Babel. All these notes I will share on the WhatsApp community you joined. You can get these notes from there so that you can practice it. Okay. Now you see in the Babel, you go to docs. In the docs, you will see presets will be there. In the presets, not presets, MIC is not there, integration, yeah. Babel standalone. This is the library you need to use in your project. So what you have to do, visit the Babel website. Their direct standalone link I will give you. This is the standalone link. You go there and there you will see a script is there. Copy that script file and paste that in your project. That means here you have to keep. Understood? So that means go to Babel and copy the Babel standalone library. You have to copy this standalone library. And you have to paste these all libraries. These all libraries you need to keep in which section of the page? Head. In the head section of the page, you have to use that. Now your home page is ready to use React. Your home page is ready to use React, but this is the old version. This is the old version, but your home page is ready to use React. It is ready to use React. So what you have to do now is in the body section, React cannot work in a HTML page if JavaScript is not enabled. You know that to run JavaScript must be enabled in browser. You learnt already in HTML how to check in browser JavaScript enabled or not. If anybody asked you a question, how to check JavaScript enabled or not in my browser? For that we use a command called noScript. NoScript is a tag which is used in HTML to verify whether JavaScript is enabled in his browser or not. Because in your browsers, JavaScript can be disabled. If JavaScript is disabled, JavaScript related any technology will not work. So you have to make sure that JavaScript is enabled. And in HTML, there is an element called noScript, which verifies whether JavaScript is working or not. If JavaScript is not working, it will show a message that you tell, please enable JavaScript. Please enable JavaScript on your browser. This message will be there. Remember, when you run the home page, you cannot see that message because currently in my browser, JavaScript is enabled. If JavaScript is disabled, you see my browser is Edge. I will go to Edge settings. In Edge settings, I will search for JavaScript settings. You will see JavaScript is allowed. You can disable it. When JavaScript is disabled, I will refresh here. That message will come. That means how you tell the user that in your computer JavaScript is not working, please check. Because they complain directly on us saying that it's not working. That is the problem of your browser, not our side. That means we have to tell the user that in your browser JavaScript is disabled, please enable. And for that in HTML we have a tag called noScript, right? And when JavaScript is allowed in my browser, now this message will not come. React, Angular, all these people have to use this tag because they have to tell the users that this requires JavaScript. If it is not enabled, you cannot use it. So we have to do that by using one option. What is it? No script. After that, I will create a div. And for this div, I will give an ID. Any ID you can give. I will give the ID as root. That means I want this to be used as a shadow DOM. You understood? No? Already yesterday I told you shadow. That means what we do, we create a virtual DOM. We add everything into virtual DOM. We update that virtual DOM into this actual DOM. And for that we have a div. What is the div ID? Root. Any ID you can give, doesn't matter. So now what we have to do, go here and write a script. We are writing a script. And you know already in JavaScript, what is the default script type? You know, default script type is text/JavaScript, MIME type. But here it should be text/Babel because it need to be compiled by Babel compiler. So you must use text/Babel. That means the script type must be Babel, then only Babel compiler will come. And remember, when you add JavaScript files, you learned already in HTML. When you link CSS files, you can link CSS files now. When you link CSS files, there is no order. But for JavaScript files, order is compulsory. If you miss the order, they will not work. When you learn JavaScript, you know this minimum basic, that JavaScript files needs an order. That means by mistake, if you attach this Babel above them, they will not work. By mistake, you attached this React DOM above React, it will not work. The order is also important. First file must be which one? React development. Second file must be React DOM. Third file must be Babel. After that, your script type must be Babel. After that, now you have to write here React DOM. React DOM is nothing but it is creating a virtual DOM. Virtual DOM dot render. Render is a method. Yesterday I told you last session HTML processing now, right? In that render is generating output. Render is the process of generating output. So React creates a virtual DOM. That virtual DOM must be rendering a message called welcome to React. This message it should render. Where to render this message, comma, where to render this message? It should render inside this root. How to access that root? Can you tell me? In JavaScript, how do you access the div? Document dot what? Get element by ID. What is that ID? Root. Then what it will do is, it will collect this root, it will render this message into that root. Now you can see that, you can see here, it is showing welcome to React. So React is working in your page. React is not there in the home index page. When I go to home page, React is working. And this is the message we are rendering. Actually not message, lot of things we will render there. And this React DOM dot which method? Render. It will create a virtual DOM. In that virtual DOM, it will put this message, and that message will be added into your div. That means now React is perfectly working on your device. It is working on your page. And remember, you are not using React in this project. You are using React only in this page. React can be used in only one page, but you are currently using old version technique. New version is different. You observe carefully, right click and go to inspect. When I go to inspect, in the console, you will find some errors. In the console, error is nothing but, actually it is not error, it is warning. It is saying that, you are still using React 17. Please switch to the new version. Am I right? But it is not a problem because we can use the old features. That means one of the major advantages of latest technologies is they are backward compatible. Backward compatible means even you install latest library, old features will still work. That means you can use in the old way. This is how we use React in our projects in general companies. But now the approach changed. From React 18 and 19 onwards, they changed the complete approach that you will see later how to do that. So this is the process of using React in a HTML page. All this you need to set up. I will give these two pages for you. One page code. This is the page, and this is which page? Index.html page. Another page is home.html, and home.html requires this code. I will copy this code. And anything problem, for example, as I told you, if I don't give text babel, I put text as what? JavaScript, and you will see that it will not work. It will not work because it is not just JavaScript. It needs a Babel compiler. That means you need to put here text slash what? Babel. If you put text Babel, then it is going to use it. It will work. It is going to handle that, right? No. No. So this is the process you need to follow. I hope, is it clear to everyone? Right. You need to practice this. All this I will upload into the classroom of your WhatsApp community. Everybody have this community joined up? No. So if you haven't joined, so online people, please wait. Our admin will speak to you and they will share you the WhatsApp community link. Offline people also, you can join the WhatsApp community link. And in that WhatsApp community link, I will upload the notes. This is the WhatsApp community QR code. This is the WhatsApp community QR code. You can join into this community. I will upload all the classroom related notes into this, right? You can check it from here. Huh? And online people, please wait, right?
Yeah, online students. I'm admin Banu speaking. Stay in online. Uh, Wait a second, online students. Online students, wait in 2 minutes for online. Yeah, online students, this batch we will start it for only UI full stack for students. Wait a second, guys. Yeah, okay, thank you, online people. Guys, this batch we started for only UI full stack students for online. So anyone join full stack Java students tomorrow, please don't join this batch. We started one more batch in February 10th. So you can join that batch. And one more thing, we changed the class link on Monday, next Monday on February 3rd. February 3rd, we changed the online link. So anyone have UI full stack students, you have any due payments, you can clear the before Sunday, and you can clear your due payments, everything. And Monday before the join the class, you can create an WebEx account with your register mail ID. And we created the new link on Monday. And one more thing, any Java 38 batch students placement batch in online, please come to the offline classes on tomorrow onwards. Monday we can't give in the link in online link Java 38 students. Again I'm repeating, Java 38 placement students, we didn't give an online link for you. you can come offline classes. I think you know location, New Block, Naresh IT, New Block. And clear guys, UI full stack students, you have any due payments and you can clear the payments in before Sunday. Because we changed the link on Monday, February 3rd, we changed the online link. We given only full payment students UI full stack Java students. We started the one more batch for you February 10th. So please don't join this batch. This batch was a special batch was in UI full stack students. Okay guys, is any doubts? Any doubts? You can raise the hand. Any doubts? And you can message in chat box. Any doubts? Offline also we didn't provide in full stack Java students. We started one more batch for you. Faculty we will tell you and you can follow Telegram group. Next batch faculty maybe Prasad sir or Shivam sir is there. The both are faculty taking the classes in React JS, not in Sharma sir. Sharma sir was the special batch as the only UI full stack students. So this batch only UI full stack students, not for full stack Java regular batch. Sandeep, time was not fixed. Maybe I think in afternoon batch we will start it. Afternoon maybe 50-50 chances 2 p.m. batch. Guys, I think you have my number, admin number, Manoj's number you have already in WhatsApp community. Okay? You have any doubts, send a WhatsApp message. I will reply to you. Again, I'm repeating, this batch was the only UI full stack students, not for full stack Java regular batch. We started regular batch Java students on February 10th onwards. So you didn't join tomorrow session. And Java 38 placement batch also you can come to offline. We didn't given any online link for you. That's okay, thanks. Tomorrow same link you can join the session. Thank you.